Hi, I'm Hegmo, and today we'll be continuing our Prime Weapon series and talking about a weapon that I've actually been extremely excited to explore and one that has often been asked about here on the channel because not too many people seem to have picked it up yet. The appropriately elusive ninja katana, Dokoku. In this series, we're showcasing each of the prime weapons individually, generally looking at stage 4 primes for ease of access and discussing their strengths and potential weaknesses. We've had the chance to explore a number of weapons so far, so be sure to check the prime weapon playlist out. We also have a number of weapons ready to record with just a little bit more due diligence on my part, so if there's any that you're really excited to see, as always, let me know down in the comments and we'll try to prioritize those first. Back to Dokoku. Dokoku is a one-handed katana that, like all one-handed katanas for the most part, is usable only by one job, ninja. This is the only prime weapon ninja has access to. Now, before we get too far into this, I do want to start by saying that I think ninja is a really cool job. Many career endgame ninjas that are currently playing ninja actively may have some thoughts for me down in the comment. I'll be the first to admit that it's not a job that I currently play very often, but I have played ninja quite a bit over the years. I remember having +2 Empyrean gear back in the Abyssea era. I remember feeling really cool in my ninja doing ninja stuff, tanking, doing damage, debuffing, nuking. Unfortunately, that character has been lost to time, so we had to do a little bit of homework to get ready to film this video. As the party member who decided to pursue the Prime Ninja Katana for us had basically just unlocked ninja to be a sub-job. He had 11 katana skill, 0 job points, and absolutely no reforge done. But don't worry, we're going to Hegmo this. We set off to Abyssea to unlock Ninja Empyrean. At its base level, we reforged the relevant pieces to +3, dropping about 160,000 Gallimaufry on top of the 3.5 million Gallimaufry that we had spent on the katana that we could barely equip. Capped our ninja katana skill on crabs while watching Con Air starring Nicolas Cage with our friend Notorious Monster. Shout out to Notorious Monster over at twitch.tv/NotoriousMonsterTV. Great streamer. Mastered ninja in about a 5-hour marathon. There's a link to that VOD down in the description if you really want to watch something long format. Spent several days banging our head against Mboze, Ongo, and Arebati to finally unlock Boomba V15. Then ran Boomba V15 runs all day to upgrade several pieces of his Nyame from around an average of R4 to R20. And was it worth it? At stage 4, Dokoku has 155 base damage, 210 delay, 30 dex, agi, accuracy, and magic accuracy, 248 to magic damage, and 269 to all combat skills, along with a unique 7 store TP stat. At stage 5, these stats scale up even further to 163 base damage, 35 dex, agi, accuracy, and magic accuracy, 263 magic damage, and 277 combat skills, along with 10 store TP. And of course, like all primes, Dokoku has the hidden effect similar to Relics, which activates at stage 4 with occasional double damage on the first round of your auto attack, upgrading to triple damage at stage 5, further boosting the white damage output. Dokoku gives access to Zesho Meppo, a 4-hit weapon skill with dex and agi modifiers, and like all other primes, great TP scaling, favoring high TP weapon skills for optimal damage. Zesho Meppo self-chains to make fragmentation and then a 3-step light, and can self-chain infinitely with a variety of weapon skills including Blade Chi due to its tendency to prioritize lower level skill chains over higher ones. After a brief amount of testing, Zesho Meppo is fairly good. Outside of SPs like Soul Voice and Bolster, we saw damage ranging around 55 to 65k at high TP output, and this scaled up to 65 to 75k with Soul Voice or Bolster. This isn't bad for a one-handed weapon. By contrast, our Red Mage doing Imperator was seeing 60 to 65k weapon skills, and our Beastmaster with the one-handed axe was hitting for 75 to cap damage. It's likely one of the hardest hitting physical weapon skills for ninja, and in my limited experience so far, it even clears the can it beat Negli test. The one thing that I didn't get a chance to test due to limitations on our ninja's skill and investment into the job was the ninjutsu nuke damage. I did notice that Dokoku sports a hefty amount of magic damage on the weapon, more than Kunimitsu or Gokotai, and I know that ninjutsu san spells can actually burst for some crazy damage. I've heard people capping damage doing 99k ninjutsu san. So with the higher magic damage base, paired with something like Kunimitsu, I could see this weapon doing some really cool things, perhaps even setting up its own skill chains and magic bursts for some really strong damage. As a general view, Dokoku is fairly cool. It's a very strong physical focused katana with a decently hard hitting weapon skill. It's always hard to talk about a weapon skill when there's a alternative option in the kit, and ninja really shines with its hybrid weapon skills when it can use them. When you have the choice between spamming Blade Chi for cap damage or Zesho Meppo for 65k damage, it's kind of a tough call to make it face value. But what I do like about this weapon is the prospect of pushing into higher levels of play. Blade Chi doesn't self-chain, for example, so doing a 65k Zesho Meppo into a cap damage Blade Chi, creating a cap damage skill chain, which then you could hypothetically follow up with a strong ninjutsu nuke, that's a pretty cool concept. In a Zerg, you may fall behind other jobs, but when you have control of the skill chain, it opens up some cool opportunities. Ninja, however, as a general statement, in my opinion, is in kind of a weird spot in the meta. It's hard to justify investing 3.5 million or 8.5 million Gallimaufry into a weapon on a job that just doesn't get used as often due to its place in the overarching melee Zerg meta. We talk about this at least once a month on stream. I'd love to see ninjutsu enfeebling brought up to be on par with Red Mage, for example, so that it can be your choice of hybrid enfeebler spot, whether you want a ninja or a Red Mage situationally. But when you have to choose between ninja and a Dark Knight or a Dragoon or a warrior, something else that's in that DPS meta currently, your passion for ninja really has to carry that decision for you. Taking all that into consideration, I'd give Dokoku 6 out of 10 Hagmos. Should you make a Dokoku? As I always say, if you're a ninja main who loves ninja and you're playing ninja all the time currently with a weapon that isn't Dokoku, I can't see how adding Dokoku to the mix would hurt. Meppo is among the hardest hitting physical weapon skills for ninja. The skill chain opportunities are quite cool, and ninja's just a fun job to play with, throwing shurikens, nuking, enfeebling, doing ninja stuff. But if you're looking for a strong prime that'll fit into a meta and you don't really care about which job that is, you might have better luck by investing into one of the many other primes that excel at what they do. Ultimately, Dokoku is a cool weapon, ninja's a cool job. It's just a hard decision to make when you compare it to how we generally play the game right now. It doesn't really fit into a magic strat for Sortie, for example, and it doesn't really fit into a physical strat either. When you're Zerging, you can do cap damage with an ambuscade katana. There's just a lot of different alternatives that you can pursue with ninja if you choose to play the job. So when it comes to spending that much Gallimaufry, I have to leave it up to you to follow your heart on that decision. In closing, I hope you found this video informative. If you did, consider a like and a subscription to the channel. We're actually really close to hitting our milestone goal of 1,000 subscribers, if you can believe that. If you didn't like the video, let me know where I went wrong down in the comments. Maybe I don't understand how ninja works, and maybe you have some better ideas on how we could fully capitalize on how to use this weapon. I stream Final Fantasy XI along with other games over at twitch.tv/Hegmo. If you want to join us in our adventure and chat real time, feel free to drop in anytime. Until next time, bye.